This video is powered by LearnToPlay.live, the only hardware synth performance course. Register now and enjoy 40% off. When it comes to terminology in music, we talk about various things. When it comes to a bass drum not being too punchy, we call it boxy. And when there's too much reverb, we call it wet. If there's no reverb at all, we call it dry. Now today, can I put reverb on a bass synthesizer? That's a question we're going to answer today. Are you ready for it? Let's go and do it right now. Hey, hello, I'm in Hello Kitchen, and thank you for checking out yet another video. Now, if this is your first time here, don't hesitate to click subscribe and hit that notification bell. Whenever I upload a new video, you'll be kept in the loop and you'll not miss out on anything. Stick around till the end of this video. I will tell you all about LearnToPlay.live. The website is live. We're actually enrolling right now, and you can get a 40% off. More towards the end of this video. So let's talk about taming the low end. So there are several problems that we run into when we produce. Whether it be on a DAW, whether it be DAWless, it's always the same problem. The kick and the bass, how can I mix them so that I don't really run into each other, which is quite easy if frequencies mask. Now, once you sorted that out and the frequencies are not clashing, so your bass drum's here, your bass line is here. If you're using reverb, you're actually introducing a few things and you need to take care of them. It's cool to add a little bit of space around the sounds that you're using to give them a little bit of character, have them stand out. And when you've got a busy production, it's even better to really pinpoint where sounds are coming from. A trick to do is to use effects on your sounds. Now, if you're making dance music, chances are your bass line is one of the most important things to use within your production, which means you would like to have that really stand out. Now, most synthesizers come equipped with effects, with delay, with reverb. I'm talking about the OB6, I'm talking about the Minilog XD. Those synthesizers conveniently come with effects on board. Unfortunately though, there are certain synthesizers that sound like a brick wall. Absolutely amazing synths, Minitar by Moog, Sub 37 by Moog, and I can go on, DFAM for instance, that don't have onboard effects. Now, that means that you have to look at effects yourself. And the first thing that comes to mind is guitar pedals, obviously. But not every pedal works on a bass synthesizer. And not all reverbs enhance the bass. There is a very, very tight sort of boundary that you should not really cross. But like I told you before about the terminology, it can be a recipe for muddy mixes. Now, what does muddy mean? It means the sound is actually longer than it's supposed to be. So if you've got a cadence of the kick drum and a bass note, let's go for that classic sort of dun, 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 that kind of vibe. Now, if your kick drum and your bass note are of the same length, you get this pulsating rhythm that people really find pleasant and they will dance to that. But if for some reason your bass note starts to extend in length, which is what happens if you're using reverb, you not only add volume but also length. So now your sound is not balanced anymore. And a little bit on how speakers work. When speakers are representing the sound, they love to just do it exactly as you hear the sound. So it gives a pulse on every pulse that comes in your groove. So your cadence being that your speaker does the same thing. It likes to do that in a clean, organized manner. Let me put it that way. Now, if your bass note is too long, obviously, there's conflict in the way the speaker is going to move forward and backwards. So it's not going to represent your sound as accurately as you would want it to be. What happens is your whole track just gets played softer because the speakers can just not handle it. You can push the volume, but in the end result is you break the speaker. And one thing you don't want to do is break the speaker. Don't break the speaker. Masking other instruments, that's a problem. Meaning your sound has become so loud and so big that it's now in the way of other things, and you don't want anything fighting for attention within your mix. If you're going to mix down, or at least have a concise sort of like leveling of where all your sounds need to go, one thing you don't want is one sound overlapping other sounds. Another problem is phase cancellation. Reverb can introduce some phase issues, especially in the low end, which means that the punch and the clarity is just gone. It's just going to be something that, you know, is almost suggestive. And if that is what you are looking for, then hey, it can be a trick, you know. You can opt to go for certain sounds that need to be in your face and other sounds that you would like to have a little bit more in the background, otherworldly, not very audible, but still adding to the atmosphere of your track, which is a cool thing to do. And another thing is the way you play your bass line. So if you play long extended notes and put a lot of reverb on there, that's just like, you know, you brushing up to just go on a date and then just putting a blanket over yourself and walking out of the door. All your work has been done for nothing. Probably the date won't go well. So what happens is you would like to really emphasize what you've done. So you play your bass notes somewhere in a spot where they're not too long, they're very percussive and punchy, and actually you just put reverb on there. And another thing is to not put too much low end on your reverb. Too much low end is only going to just extend and multiply the low end frequency content that's already in the bass line. So you don't want to do that as well. And another thing, even though you might not have too much low end on your reverb, there's another problem that can occur. Meaning if everything starts at the same time. Now, pre-delay. That's what is coming in handy also. Some reverb pedals have a pre-delay where you can literally tell the reverb, this is where the bass line starts, the bass note starts, or whatever you stick through the effect. And I want you to start a little bit later, just so that you can clearly hear what's happening. Now, my rule of thumb is this. The less notes you play, the longer your reverb time can be. Doesn't have to be, but can be. And the better your reverb sounds, the softer you're going to have to put it. Some people are very happy with their Eventide, with their Strymon, and they spend all that money. So now that they have the reverb, everybody on this earth and within this universe needs to hear that that reverb is cool. Doesn't work. It's like cooking. You would not like to add too much sugar or too much salt within your nouvelle cuisine dish. You're just going to ruin it. Please keep in mind that if you're looking for those tips, that I've got the Dollars Bible sitting on patreon.com/analogkitchen. Dollars Bible is an ebook that I've been working on that grows and grows and grows because I keep adding to it. So everything that I research for the videos, everything that I come up with, sometimes just thinking, or stuff that I just experienced, I write it down, I work it out, I make a nice topic, and then I'm adding chapters to it. So at the moment, I'm looking at 90 pages of information, talking about MIDI, talking about connection, talking about bass sounds, whatever, you know. Anything to do with Dollars producing is in the Dollars Bible. Check it out. Once more, patreon.com/analogkitchen. So, something is making a comeback right here. I've got an MPC sitting here. This is an MPC 1. I've got the Minitar that's going to be our bass culprit for today. There's an EPM 8 mix sitting right here. I've got 4 pedals. There's more pedals that I have, but I just wanted to make sure that, you know, again, I am so clickbaity because there's one pedal that's not supposed to be here, which is the DD7, which is not a reverb, but it is delay. Then again, short reverb times can also be deemed as delay anyway, and I do think that in order for bass, the combination should always be delay and reverb for me, for the sound that I'm going to make, which is something I don't even know what I'm going to make because I've only got a bass drum and a helicopter type sound, which is what's here. If I'm playing the sound, you can clearly hear that right? I hear that the reverb is working. Now what I've done, which is a different video, is I've played a arpeggio with the bass line. And this is a bridge into what's going to be next week's video because there is an arpeggiating machine that's been sent to me that I'm actually going to look at, and I will I'm not going to tease you, but you have to just stay tuned for that. It's going to be interesting, to say the least. An arpeggiator. So, but now I've just used the MPC 1 to play an arpeggio. And that arpeggio sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and back around. So how did I come about this thing? Let's go in and see we're on a different track. This is where the arpeggio is, right? What I'm going to do is going to delete it and play it again. Now, yep, almost. There you go. So it's gone. I've actually done it in a way that if you engage the chords, that's what I've done here. So the chord memory is cool, but then obviously with a monophonic synth, it will not play chords. In order to get the chords to sound, you have to just use note repeat, which is here. And then all of a sudden, see? But since I don't want to be standing here like Poindexter, I will shift and note repeat, and now it's locked. See? So now I can just focus on the melody that I was playing. Now what I played was one, two, three. Let's record it in, right? Here we go. And did I play the first one? Did I miss it? Let's go in, check it. I think I missed the first one, so I'll do this. Now I got it, right? Get out of there. Now, all nice and cool, but I can promise you, this is going to start getting boring after a while. So the trick is, this is why this whole video came to be, the trick is to make simple electronic music and not use too many ingredients. So this is the one sound source we're going to use. That means we have to focus ourselves completely on this mini tower right here. So first of all, let's look at the sound. There's a few things happening. It consists of two oscillators. This is one. It's trying its best. You can here it starts to step into the high notes that it can't really play because the mini tower only plays 3 octaves. But then the other oscillator is nice. Now, as you can hear, I deliberately made the sounds a little bit shorter. Now what I will do to emphasize the sounds on the mini tower is I will add a head on the same 16th notes. I will do that with a close set. And why? Because it will give your bass line, if you're using an arpeggio like this, a little bit more push, right? Now I can play different bass notes, and maybe if this video doesn't run too long, I will just play something else, but let's focus on this right now. So I will get out of here, right? Get out of here, I'll go here. I'll go to the different track where my drums are. I've got a head sitting here. Let's do edit samples. I'll shorten the head, so, right? So I'm gonna play it. Now it's playing the head, right? Which I think can still be a little bit shorter. And then again, what I'm going to do is focus on this short head here, because that's the one that I would like to note repeat. Get out of there. Okay, here we go. Hold this and go. I don't know why the MPC 1 is always late a little bit. Cool. You got it. Let's immediately mix this, right? Because I'm thinking it sounds pretty in my face. I'll go to the pad mixer. I'll select this one. Take it out because I recorded another one. Luckily it was on the beat. Going to up the kick a little bit. Probably not. Head. Okay, and then there's a clap here. Okay, nice. Just plain and simple, you know, dance music. This clap also, I will shorten the notes, because the shorter the notes are, the more percussive my groove is, the more it will bounce and the more it will just like kick your butt on the dance floor, right? So we're gonna go in and we say to the program, edit samples, we select this. Okay, and then I'm gonna go short the end. Yeah. So now it's joining the hi-hat family. We have to chip, cool. So we can really focus on what's happening. Again, looking at some mixing. So I'll go into the pad mixer. Also lower this a little bit. I've got another one. And on this one, I will put a little bit of reverb on this clap. So I'm going to look for my reverb here. Nothing to reverb here. Nice. Also pre-delays. 10 milliseconds. We go. Bam, 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 bam. Cool. Obviously, we're going to, again, look at the mix, turn it down. We're going to go in and look at what I did. Tap, two, boom. Okay, what I'm going to do is 1, 2, 3, boom, 2, 2, and this one's gone. Boom, 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 and the last one's also gone. So then we go clap. Okay, on topic, let's go in. Let's focus on, first of all, I'm going to go to pad mute so that I can do that. Now we'll focus on my bass sound. I will exaggerate the sound a little bit. Let's listen what the filter does. Nice. Now, obviously, I pride myself in not EQing anything, which obviously is a little bit of an overstatement, because of course if you're using a filter here, you know, which obviously is going to be subtractive synthesis, you are in a way mixing, right? More highs, less highs. But I'm not as to say to use the mixer on use the EQ on the mixer. So what do I need to do? I want to take out a little bit of the low end. Let's first start the first reverb. Woo. Hall of Fame by TC Electronics. This is not a shootout, mind you. I'm just going to give you different tastes of reverb and how I would use them, as they all sound different, right? So there's a room setting here. It's kind of bright. Now this is what I mean by drowning the bass line. It's a little bit too much. So I'll look for a setting. And to take out low end, or to EQ the bass, I have to just up a little bit of resonance. Listen to this. When I open the resonance, you're going to lose low end on your bass note. Low. Doesn't need to be too much, but now, nice one. Now let's play with longer notes. Let's take this out. I know for a fact that I'm going to, let's go in and say, take the chords out, play notes. And let's put it on custom. Something like that, I'm not sure. I knew that was going to happen. Undo. Oh my god. Okay, but yeah, you know what? I don't care. I'll go in and say, I will find my notes. Do you like it? This chromatic business here. Transpose. There you go. Okay, nice. We got it. So we're going to lengthen the note, which is the other end. It's been a while that I've worked on the MPC. I've been working on the Octo track a lot, so. Nice one. Check it out. Let's add this end. Well, legato this up as well. There you go. Nice. Now we got something that adds a little bit to what's happening right here, right? Cool. Let's focus on the bass again. Listen to the reverb. Let's try a different reverb, yeah? This is a room. Let's see what happens if we use a hole. Ooh. This is what I mean with long, extended notes. And that can only work if there's not too much low end and the reverb is a little bit softer. Without it, with it. Okay, that means let's go for a kick, which is here, and back in that mute, and then get out of the plugin. I know. Main, back to this track, drums, and back in. I need to do more on my MPC. The brush up on my MPC here work. Okay, cool. So now that we got this, see? So now I think the setting on the reverb is okay, right? But if I'm starting to add more low end in, or at least giving it more reso, listen to that. Muddy. This is what we mean with muddy, right? Too much. But what if I like that low end? Then I need to just go for a different vibe, right? Maybe spring reverb plates, and then alter the volume. So if you go for a spring verb or a plate reverb, obviously the shorter reverb times will allow for the bass to be a little bit more within the low segments of things. Okay, I just spoke about the pedal that's not supposed to be here, but it's here. So what we're going to do is add a little bit of delay also. But mind you, the delay is the first in line. So first the bass goes in here and then it goes through this, this, and this. But obviously these are all off, right? So we're going to go to, not lingering on too much here, delay. I'm going to hold my delay till it turns green. Boom! And now I get to step in the tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now all of a sudden it becomes interesting. Space music. Cool. Liking that, right? And then with the effect level, I just determine how much goes in there because it will accumulate. So first try reverb, and then once you know how to use your reverb and how to set the reverb, then you'll just add delay to it. But let's, so you can hear it, very stereo as well. If you're not listening to this on your phone, otherwise it wouldn't make sense, this video at all. So what we're going to do, Cool. Played reverb also. Let's put a little bit of glide on there. Let's see what that does. Sometimes we'll use the glide. Let's turn this down a little bit. Because since the glide is going to temper with the attacks of the sound, it will invoke a little bit more percussion. You can hear it. Very short attack. I'm exaggerating it right now. Cool, all right, let's move on. So there's more stuff on there, but I would like to go into a different reverb. So I'm going to turn this off. Let's go for, I think, the bad boy in the room, to be honest. And with bad boy, I mean it in a good way, because this is absolutely something else. Listen to this. 3 delay. Now let's put it on room. Man, every time when I'm using this thing, it's like, well, why do I think this is like a different caliber of reverb? I can only say that the setting that I've got in my head and the way I want this bass to sound is easier to find on a little bit more advanced reverb. Now the Hall of Fame is very cool. I love it as a maybe entry-level reverb if you want to just like space it up. But if you're going to spend money on a synthesizer, you might as well spend some money on your reverb as well, right? So, okay. Let's go back to the mute page. I played something with a synthesizer. Sorry, I hate it, so I'm not gonna play it again. But anyway, bad mute. Okay, let's go back in because you need to be on the track that you are where you are. My drums page, I'm gonna go here and say bad mute. Right? So we can focus a little bit on the reverb. I will exaggerate it, right? Now there's different settings here. Norm, mod, and shimmer. Shimmer is for those long EDM type sounds, you know what I mean? Would I like to use it on this? Let's see what happens. Works. I think it works, but it gives a little 11th, I think it is, you know. So if more information, musical information was to play, you have to understand that this could screw around with the pitch of your music. So this is something if you need to stand out, if you want your bass sound to just like do something, right? So again, if I turn it off, it sounds like this. Then again, the Minitar is an awesome sounding bass synth, so you could get away with it. I've had gigs where I linked everything up in my pedals, and for some reason, Ghost in the Machine pedals didn't work, so this was for the duration of the gig. It works, but this is the cool thing. So we're gonna play reverb. So did you notice that I don't necessarily need to take out low end of my Minitar because it doesn't really swamp it out? So I would say this Hall of Fame suits itself a little bit better for guitar than for synths. I could still use it, but I would probably use it on a different synth, not so much on this. This could work on a Micro Freak, perhaps, something like that, would work wonders. But this, yeah, because the Micro Freak being somewhat digital could benefit from a little bit of low end on the reverb, I think, to add to the sound. But for this Minitar, the way it is, I'd like to just the reverb to capture the essence of the Minitar as it is. Very poetic, but you know what I mean. So, okay, let's go for. I've exaggerated the pre-delay setting. So you hear that all the sounds that are like raindrops are falling behind. Very bright. So there's a small EQ on there as well. Just a mod sound. If you put this thing on a sub 37, you will not believe what happens. It's absolutely amazing. Now, okay, so play. I will exaggerate so you'll hear what happens, right? Play. Room. Ooh, nice. And spring. So this I would use if I was to use a higher setting with a little bit more reso, shorter notes, and less low end. You hear how this becomes a little bit more audible right now? Just play around with it, you'll see what happens. Okay. Now, we're ready for the last one. We go for the Electro Harmonix Cathedral. Now this thing is like a steamroller, you know what I mean? Nothing about this pedal is moderate. When I first got it, I was like, yay! But I have to say, I gasped for the blue color, so that was stupid. But I managed to make it work, so cool. We're on the grill spring setting. Basically, you turn it, you click it, all. Room, you know what I mean? With the nothing goes moderate here. So pre-delay, feedback, damping and tone, reverb time. Woo! Let's turn it off. Let's go back and start from the beginning. So this is a blend knob where you can just blend in the original sound with the feedback, and there's this is a bit of a crossover point that I obviously I'll just set these things to taste really, because when I work it live I'm not going to stand there like a magician and try to figure out what's happening. I'm not building a skill model here, I'm just trying to perform, right? So I'm turning it on, right? Let's see. Woo. So this is actually pretty cool to listen to what's happening, right? So here, and another tip that I would like to tell anyone, if you like your reverb, if you really like what you've done, turn it down. You know, everybody just works on a reverb and like, everybody needs to hear it. Like, you know, Tom, Dick and Harry, everyone. Turn it down, you know? So with the blend knob, let's listen to when we're going to hear it. I will shorten my synth. I will envelope generate a little bit. So now we got even shorter notes. So now we should really, really hear what this thing can do, right? Grill spring, first one. There it is already. I'll do a back to back in a second. So this is the amount that we would like, right? A lot of long. This could actually blend with another reverb, which is a different video. Layering of reverbs. I might do a video on that. But then you really need to have the frequency window in your head if you're doing that. But just to start out, you want to get a synth, you want to get a pedal. I think this video is going to help you out. Okay, damping and the tone. Let's overdo it. Brightness. Muffled. So these two live in the same house, right? Those are family. And the feedback, obviously. There it comes. And the pre-delay. Turn down the reverb time, damping in the tone, the blending. Let's go for another one. Nice. I'm liking this though. So the echo spring does it. Let's go for the whole. See? Now we need to just look at the damping and the tone again. And the blend. You see how this knob is so sensitive. It becomes bathroom village within no time. See, it doesn't work with too much low end. So you have to level it out again. So if you want to emphasize something here, turn this down. You want to emphasize something here, turn that down. You know what I mean? Have that so that you can do longer things. Pick out. Okay, next one, the room. You hear it's trailing the sound. With pre-delay down, you can hide it a little bit, but then it's accumulating sound. So I'll open the pre-delay up a considerable amount. Let's go for a plate. That should add more highs. See? Yeah, I'm liking this as well. Reverse. Okay, now we're spooky down. Okay, might serve a purpose. What happens if, I'll get back to that in a second. Remind me, I need to add those two together. Reverb, flurb. Nice stereo. There's a flanger in there. Okay. I suggest you not smoke any spliffs and then listen to this on your headphone, because this will send you right off direction south, hitting your head on the floor. How do I know? I've had it happen before. Okay, that's the flirt, and then the echo is the last one. Which essentially is a delay, right? Let's try it. 1, 2. Okay, different tastes, different things. Now, what did I say? I went for that. Come on, man. So low end. Right. Off, off, and off. So Back to back to back. Right? Hall of Fame. Nice, sweet, manageable. A little bit of character, I say. So this is more of an all-round, like Swedish pocket knife kind of vibe. You know, you can always use it. The Hall of Fame. This to add a little bit more character. And is a little bit more forgiving if you're using low ends on your bass. Blade firm. Now, which one is better? That doesn't really matter. That was not the case. That was not my intention of this video. For me, it was all to do with how would you go about listening to different things when you're using reverb? I mean, a lot of people just stick it on there, but I think that there's so much more actually to think of when it comes to that kind of vibe, right? Hey, I'm back again. Now, okay, so this is my 2 cents on what you can actually do. I think there's much more that you can do, and it depends on different synthesizers, depends on different sounds. Not everything works. I went for the mini guitar because in my honest opinion, it's like a bigger, broader kind of synth in terms of sound. The sounds are a little bit thicker. I could have used many more presets, but I just wanted to just give you a general idea. Now, if you are interested in learning more of this stuff, that's possible. Pre-register at the moment at learntoplay.live, because there is going to be a full course that starts in September, and that's going to be 32 weeks of this kind of stuff, but then more in depth with industry professionals that are on board. So I mean, for instance, I can lift the veil on one of the teachers. I can tell you all about acid house, but wouldn't you rather learn it from DJ Pierre? You know what I'm saying? So I've got guys and girls like him involved to help me out, teaching you how this works, this trusting your ears again almost. It's funny that I say it, but that's what it is. Trust your ears to make music. Why is there not a course on how you can play live? So Learn to Play Live is exactly that, production and performance, and we just touch upon everything. Immersive audio and Dolby Atmos, contracts, getting gigs, reading the contract, connecting your gear. It's just going to be the, in my honest opinion, the be all and end all of DAWless performing, or hybrid performing for that matter. So no, it does not say you have to do this and you have to buy this or that's a better synth. Everybody that follows this channel knows I'm not too much a review channel. It's more about how you can do stuff. You know, how can you get better at your skill set? So whether you're just starting out or whether you're already been playing for a while, I think you can benefit a lot from what's happening. So 32 weeks, it starts in September. Learntoplay.live, you can go there now. And this is the catch as well, if there is a catch. But I mean, market conformity is a big thing. All the courses that I've seen out there basically teach you how something works. And then you're like, okay, but how do I apply it to my music? That's one problem. Another problem is that not so much into the market conformity stuff. So I will promise you that the best 3 applicants or the best 3 students of the year will get a vinyl release. So you have something to aim for. You know, all the pros are going to help you out. If you don't make it to that vinyl release, at least you learn a lot. The 3 runners-up are going to do remixes, and there's going to be a lot of stuff during the year within the community, with access into the Discord community that's been very, very live for us. It's the one-stop shop for you to try and become better at it. I mean, I wish that something was there when I started out, because it was just basically a lot of questions. And one thing I hate is to have more questions than answers. So Learn to Play Live. Go check it out. I absolutely love the website. We're going to be there. It's early days because we're now in listing, which means you're getting 40% off of the total price. And there's brand deals also involved. So if you decide to say like you want to buy gear, we can get you that with a huge discount. Now, okay, thank you. I think that is that. learntoplay.live. Don't forget it. Also, patreon.com if you want to get closer. That's your fastest way to get in touch with me. That gives you access to the Discord community. And I would have hoped to have the mixer on the desk by now. It's almost finished, but yeah, within a few weeks, I guess. I mean, yeah, so almost. There was a hiccup. There was a few things that, you know how it goes. Anyway, keep your mind on your eyes and your attention on this space. I'm Analog Kitchen. Thank you for tuning in. I'll catch you next week on another video. I'm out. Peace.